So what I'm trying to do in my publications and in most of my presentations, either inside the country or in international conferences just like this, is to try to shed some light on what we don't know, basically. Okay, so my presentation is based on a review article that I published just 4 days ago. And in the beginning, I wanted to cite many references, but you can, the interested listeners and readers can go to this article, which I will show immediately. And all the citations are there. I think around 400 citations. Anyway, let's start. So my presentation is the Amaranthaceae plants of Israel and Palestine, and you know that these two entities are completely interrelated. So unexplored heaven. Okay, let's move to the yeah, this is the second slide. And please pay attention here to the article that the entire presentation is based on it. Here it is. It's quite big review article, and this photo is one of the species of Amaranthus. It is named as in science. It's named as Amaranthus retroflexus, and this photo was taken in our garden next to, I mean, in our home. This plant family is quite big. It is about 69 genera and 1,000 species. And since antiquity, humans have been using this this plant. And here I cite different literature articles that indicate that these plants, these species were used by humans since antiquity. So the first one was in Las Canopus, sorry, in USA. The ancient inhabitants used that plant. They say, the article says amaranth, and basically when you talk about amaranth, they mean mostly Amaranthus tricolor that we will see soon. Anyhow, Mayan civilizations domesticated the plants about 8,000 years ago. And in pre-Hispanic Argentina, the Amaranthus caudatus was used also as food. What you saw, the photo that you saw in the previous slide, Amaranthus retroflexus, which grew just beside, just in our garden. The green, and I have a story about this plant by the end of this presentation. So it was used by peoples who lived around the Mediterranean Sea in late Bronze Age. This means 1550 to 1120 BC. In Mexico, amaranth again was eaten by people about 4,000 years ago. Okay, so I'll tell you the truth. This is not much. It seems like ancient people used these plants heavily. This is not heavily, because if you compare with other wild species, okay, it's not that much. But what came out of this use is shown in the next slide. See, these are the domesticated species of amaranth. So you have the quinoa, Okay, the quinoa is absolutely useful plant, and it's a member of this family, this large family, spinach. Okay, we all I think love it. Beet. Okay, and the last one on the right, amaranth. This is the Amaranthus tricolor. Is basically garden plant. Means we use it, we plant it for beauty. Even though, as I told you, some of the ancient people did eat the leaves. Okay, but if you look at quinoa and spinach and beet, these are very useful plants for human society. And so 3 of the plants of this family were domesticated and obviously went through a lot of modifications. So, but this presentation focuses on wild species. Okay, I'm not going to talk about quinoa, not spinach, and not beet. Okay, so in traditional medicine, okay, and this painting goes back to the era of the beginning of traditional Arab medicine, something like 1200 years ago. So in India, they use the plants of this family quite extensively. In the traditional Indian medicine, and we heard two presentations, two excellent presentations about Ayurveda yesterday. Anyway, so use the Indian traditional medicine, use it quite extensively. One of the interesting, actually there are 2 interesting and special uses in the traditional Indian medicine. One is anti-fertility. Here, it is used to make males. Okay, this is used for men, not for women, to reduce their fertility, and snake bites. This is something amazing, by the way, and it's quite based scientifically. I mean, they use it in India to treat snake bites, but on the other hand, modern research proved that this use has a scientific basis, and we will see that in few moments. In Pakistan as well, and I guess that the 2 traditional medicines of India and Pakistan are related. In Egypt, okay, there is, and by the way, this list is really partial. In Egypt, they use it to treat skin diseases against evil eye. Okay, we were talking yesterday about the presenters talked yesterday about, on the one hand, beliefs of people, and on the other hand, the scientific basis of their beliefs. So in Egypt, where my great grandfathers came from so I have Egyptian roots. They use it for to treat or against evil eye in Ghana. Okay, so look at this. For malaria, fever, the interesting thing that I found was baby refresher. Okay, in Zambia, they use it almost for everything. And one of the interesting uses is against HIV. So maybe we can apply this to the viral problem that the entire globe is facing right now. In Turkey, they have limited use analgesic, but this goes in most countries. In Iran, and we all know that the Persian, the Iranian traditional medicine is very based traditional medicine. It's amazing what they do in Iranian traditional, Persian traditional medicine. And in Italy, they eat the leaves of Amaranthus viridis. Okay, so many uses all over the world, and as I told you, this is a partial list. Okay, and this is as a chemist, as a natural products chemist, I love these slides that give me some self-confidence when I give presentations and talks. So as you know, the Amaranthaceae family does not include only the genus of Amaranthus. It includes also another genera such as the Amaranthaceae. Okay, there's a single species of this genus in this family. And look at the interesting natural products that were isolated from this species, this plant. And if you are not chemists, okay, if you don't deal with chemistry, and if you are not interested in the structures of these compounds, I just want to tell you that they contain some units that we chemists can use for our synthetic work, for drug development. And I am deeply impressed by these two compounds. And if you are not chemists, you will not really know why. But for my fellow chemists who are attending this conference, look at these long chain alcohols. This is really special. And Ayerba, this is another genus that this family contains, and it is represented by two species in our region. Okay, in other regions there are some other species, but in our region we have just two species, just two plants of this genus Ayerba. And again, look at this interesting natural products with these steroid structures. These are really beautiful, amazing natural products that can be used for drug development. Okay, and the third slide in this context, these compounds, these impressive, I would say, compounds, were isolated from Amaranthus retroflexus, the plant that I showed you its photo, and this is really amazing. These aliphatic compounds, the open chain, not the cyclic compounds, these open chain compounds are the dream of the synthetic chemist who sees these double bonds and alcohols, and they contain just nice functional groups that we can use in our work as a synthetic chemist. And finally, the fourth and last slide of natural products in this presentation. These two compounds were not isolated from the plants themselves. But yesterday we had a presentation, a beautiful presentation that presented some treatment and natural products that were based on endophyte, fungal endophyte that were isolated from plants in Africa. If my memory is working well. So in this case, these two beautiful compounds, I would say, as a chemist, were isolated from Amaranthus viridis, the one that we said that the Italian people eat its leaves. So these were not isolated from the plant itself. They were isolated from fungal endophyte that is attached to the plant. Okay, so this was chemistry, and it impresses mainly chemists like myself. But let's move to modern science. And I will present just the modern finding that relate to 3 species. Let's go to Amaranthaceae aspera, the first plant that I presented its chemical composition. Look at this. This is how the plant itself looks. By the way, when it grows older, its color turns to somewhere between pink and red. And look at, please look at the modern science finding. It's amazing. I mean, all these activities were found by modern research, and most of them actually approve the traditional medicine, Indian traditional medicine uses. For example, I told you in the previous slides, please pay attention to the snake bite treatment, and here we see that modern science proved that the extracts of this plant can inhibit the snake enzyme, the snake active, the enzyme that is active in snake venom, the phospholipase. Okay, so modern science actually approves the traditional uses and obviously adds many others. Okay, and if you go to the Ayerba javanica, okay, this is a desert, very typical desert plant. We have it here in the south because I live almost in the north of the country, and this scene is in the south. It's a desert plant. Where I live, we don't have it, okay, but we do have it in the south. Anyway, look at these findings of the modern science. And by the way, I did not mention, for example, the Saudi Arabia traditional medicine, which indicates that some of these properties are used by the Gulf states people. So this plant grows there very widely. Anyway, so what I want to say is that the modern science is discovering the properties, the amazing properties of these plants, and at the same time, modern science approves the properties of that are mentioned and used in traditional medicines all over the world. This is Alternanthera sessilis, another Alternanthera. This is another genus, and look at this beautiful plant. Actually, this goes a little bit north. Okay, it also does not grow where I live because it needs a lot of shade. It needs moist habitats, so it grows within forests and trees. So these are the findings of modern science, and pay attention to the first property, allelopathic, and look at the second one. So it's allelopathic. Allelopathic means that it reduces the growth of another plant. It suppresses the growth of another plant, but another plants. But on the other hand, it's growth promoter for who? For animals. Okay. So this is an amazing. I find this as amazing properties. Look at the last one. That's nanoparticles preparations. And I recall that silver nanoparticles were used, were prepared by using the extract of this plant as a reductant, as reducing agent of argentum nitrate, AgNO3. Anyhow, okay, so it couldn't go without Amaranthus retroflexus. And look at the first property, allelopathic, and I wrote that in red, and I'll tell you immediately why. Look at the other properties. For example, allergenic, for example, renal system toxicity. And I want to tell you about this plant because it's one of the most widespread plants in our gardens and in our farms. I want to tell you something really special, really personal, but I grew up in agricultural family. We had farms, we had livestock, and we know that this plant, because it's very strong allelopathic properties, we know that it suppresses the growth of our crops. For example, it's highly allelopathic towards towards the family of eggplant and pepper and you know the solanic family. Anyway, we knew and we know that this plant suppresses the growth of, for example, pepper, tomatoes, eggplants, and so on. And when I started writing the article, a plant of Amaranthus retroflexus started growing in our garden, and I said, you know, since this is allelopathic, so I planted just beside it three plants of hot pepper, because I love hot pepper. And I want to tell you that both species grew up to about 100 centimeters, 1 meter high. This plant, this photo, I took this photo, was growing nicely and flowering, and then started producing seeds, while the pepper plants started, you know, very high, but no flowers and no fruits. And when I unrooted this plant, when I removed it, suddenly in 3 days, the pepper plants were fully flowering, and after 2 weeks, they had so much fruits. It's amazing how this plant is allelopathic, but I want to tell you, since we grew also livestock, I know that our livestock, our cows especially, really love eating this plant. So when we say that it's renal system toxic, not for animals, this is for human beings. Okay. On the other hand, it's a metal hyperaccumulator. So when it grows in contaminated lands, it should be treated very carefully. And what we know, okay? So these species where I indicated high number of publications, not enough publications, but the number is reasonably high. Okay, so this is fine. This is wonderful. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 species, we know quite a lot about them. But what we don't know, pay attention please to what we don't know. Okay, for example, this species, very limitedly studied. This one, nothing. There are no publications of whatsoever kind about this plant, and this one as well, and this one as well. And as I told you in the beginning of my presentation, I always want to emphasize the side that what we don't know. For example, when I say here very limitedly studied, or it was very limitedly studied, you can hardly find an article or two. Anyway, okay. Conclusions. Oh, okay, we have here 10 conclusions, but I will not read them all. I'll just say that we have unique natural products. We have very useful plants, but on the other hand, research must be widened, must be intensified. And this is the main theme that goes through these 10 conclusions and future vision. And thank you. Okay. Thank you for attending. Thank you for listening. This is my email. This is my phone number. I'll be more than willing to communicate with you. Okay.